everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and for today's video we're going to be doing my September TBR. If you don't know what TBR means, it just stands for to be read, so these are my reading plans for the month of September. In August I had the best reading month I've ever had, and I am so proud of myself for that and genuinely shocked. It's August 30th. At the time that I'm filming this, so I don't know exactly how many books I finished, but so far it's a lot. I kind of fell in love with reading again. I was reading every single day at the beginning of the month and just enjoying it so much. And toward the end of the month, I filmed a spoilery reading vlog for Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Bashardust, and I loved it. And I also really got into a huge fantasy mood, which you'll see in a second. So most of my TBR is fantasy this month. I'm also trying to pick some more atmospheric books since fall is coming up and I'm trying to get really excited for fall. I also start school August 31st, tomorrow. I'm trying not to think about it. But yeah, I start school tomorrow. Probably not when you're watching this, but so I don't know realistically how much time I'll have to read, but with the time that I do have, these are some of the books that I want to read. This is excluding school material because I don't know what I'm gonna have to read for classes or anything, so yeah, this is gonna be interesting for everyone if you're going to school or you're a teacher or whatever, but I have talked for way too long, so let's just get started with my TBR. So first I want to talk about the books that I was either too lazy to get out or that I don't have. So the first one, so I don't forget it, is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy, which is the prequel spin-off series to the Mortal Instruments series, which is the Shadowhunter universe if you're new, but basically this takes place in Victorian London, I believe, and it's about the Shadowhunters. I'm not going to delve into everything that happens in this whole series because it's kind of a lot, and knowing me, I would give way too many details and we would be here for way too long just for this summary, so I'm gonna skip that. But I really enjoy this series. I started up with the second book because I read the first book years ago, so I restarted up the series with the second book earlier this year and I got through a bunch of them, and I just kind of took a little bit of break from the series and I want to get back into it so that I can get up to the Dark Artifices, at least, is kind of my goal for the end of the year. I would like to be all caught up, but there are so many books and sometimes you just need a break, which is totally fine. But yeah, so it's kind of my goal for myself for the end of the year, but we'll see what happens. I want to pick back up with that because, like I said, in a huge fantasy mood and I kind of miss all of those characters. I listened to the playlist that I was listening to while I was reading those books the other day, and I was like, oh my god, I miss Will, Tessa, and Jem. I just need to know how they're doing, so definitely gonna pick that up. The other book that I have is an audiobook, and that is One to Watch. I am not sure who this is by, but I'll put the cover up here. Basically, my sister-in-law recommended this book to me. She said that it's kind of like a bachelorette kind of, that's like the plot, but the main character is plus sized and hates those shows because she feels, I think, like plus size people aren't represented enough on them, and she thinks it's really stupid, and so she's just kind of going to make fun of it, and I think she ends up falling in love. I think, do not quote me on that, but all I know is my sister was infatuated with this book, and so I need to read it. We've been giving each other really great recommendations lately and it's been so nice, so I am just like loving reading and sharing and everything. But yeah, that's going to be one of the audiobooks that I listen to. I don't know if I'll listen to a bunch of audiobooks this month. I'm kind of in the mood to physically read, which hasn't been a thing this whole year, so loving this for me. But yeah, that's like the one audiobook that I kind of want to listen to. Now let's get into the books that I have sitting right next to me that I will be physically reading. The first one is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This is an ARC copy, but this has been out for a while. I think it's even out in paperback at this point. I'm not 100% sure, but Blood and Honey comes out really soon, and this is basically about a witch and a witch hunter that end up being forced into an arranged marriage. It's kind of a hate to love. It's set in 1700s France, I think. Oh, 17th century France, excuse me. And I'm super pumped about it. So like I said, the sequel comes out soon, and I would like to at least have read this one, even if I don't read the sequel right away. It sounds really good, and I watched Naya Reads and Smiles vlog for Blood and Honey, and it got me so excited to start this series. So then I have one manga volume on here that I want to read, and that is Orange by Ishigo Takano. I have had this on my TBR for so long and just never read it, but I'm kind of hoping that I'll just pick this up when, like, in between classes or something like that, when I need a little bit of a break from school. It seems like it's going to be really cute and aesthetically pleasing, and I'm watching Gilmore Girls right now, and I don't know why. Like, I know this is not the same thing as Gilmore Girls at all, but like, I'm just hoping that it gives me cozy vibes for whatever reason. I don't know what I'm talking about, but basically this is about this group of friends, and this girl gets a letter from herself from the future saying, like, do these things and don't do these things, and you could, like, avoid someone taking their own life. So that is a very intriguing plot. Apparently this is very emotional. Obviously it deals with some pretty heavy topics. I don't know anything more than that, so for trigger warnings, again, I know nothing, so I would look them up if you're concerned about that. I'm really excited to get to this one. It's pretty thick, so I imagine I will be taking my time with it, but I'm kind of like really excited to do that. Then we have a reread, which if you've been around for a while, I don't reread books that often, like hardly ever. And this one is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I know that this series has pretty mixed reviews, but I remember when I read this, I absolutely loved it. I did read it in high school, I think my junior year, and now I'm a junior in college, so it's been a minute. But this, I remember being a super fast-paced fantasy. It's only 400 pages. Granted, there are 6 books in the series, all of this same size, but they all stay the same size, so it's not like Sarah J. Maas. I have been wanting to, like I said, read more fantasy, complete more series, and this is one that I want to continue on with the series, but I feel like I need to just go back and reread so that I can better understand the magic system, remember all of the characters and character deaths that happened. This has been compared to a YA Game of Thrones. I don't know how accurate that is, but I do really enjoy it. It's super, like, so many twists and turns. I read this in just a couple of days in a phase where I wasn't really reading that much, so really excited to revisit this world, characters, drama, because even if it's not the best quality, I think it's highly entertaining. I'm pretty sure my sister-in-law read this one and did not like it at all, so I'm sure that she's gonna disagree with me. Then we have a book that I've been staring at for so long, especially since I've redone my shelves. It's facing outward on my shelf. You can probably tell it's missing right now, and that is Belle Revolt by Lindsay Miller. It kind of gives me like Princess and the Pauper vibes. These two girls, one who is of nobility, one who is not, switch places, and then there's a revolution happening at the same time. I also have heard that it's a female-female romance, and I just read Girl Serpent Thorn, and that had a female-female romance, and it was the sweetest thing in the world. So I'm kind of in the mood to just read all of it, but I'm really excited. This is a pretty short book, and the chapters look pretty short. Yeah, it's under 400 pages, which for a fantasy is not that long. I don't know if there's going to be a sequel to this one or if it's a standalone, but still really excited because it looks like it takes place in France, given the title and all the fleur-de-lis. on the cover. Super pumped. Then we have a book that I started in August but just didn't end up finishing, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is a 600-page sci-fi book that I don't read sci-fi, but it's told in mixed media format, which is super, super cool and unique. So I got 44 pages in. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I got 44 pages in last month and I was enjoying it okay. It's not like crazy good yet, but so many people love this book. So I have a feeling that I probably will too, because most people don't just have lukewarm feelings about it. So I've been wanting to read this for literal years and just never have. So hopefully September will be the month that I can do that. Again, since it's told in mixed media format, if I need to like switch up my reading, I feel like this will be a good way to do that. The next book, I asked my boyfriend to pick out some books for me to read this month, and I'm doing one for now and then I'll do the rest while he's like gone and spread it out throughout the months. And he picked this one purely because he thought it looked cool. So we have Nocturna by Maya Matane. I bought this book because I remember seeing everyone's Fairy Loot or Owl Crate editions of it and thinking it was stunning and wanting to know what it was about. I never read the synopsis, so I still don't know what it's about, but I'm reading it. Hopefully I like it. And lastly, but most certainly not least, probably the book I'm genuinely most excited to read on this entire list is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I got this book last year when it came out and got 44 pages in. Wow, that must be my lucky number or something. I got 44 pages in and I was really enjoying it, but that was when I was in the hospital, so I wasn't really reading a ton. Plus, I didn't want something that was super heavy for me mentally, and apparently there are like all the trigger warnings in the world for this, so I wanted to like kind of be careful with myself. But basically, I want to read this right now because dark academia, ghosts, spooky things at Yale, that just sounds like really good, and the atmosphere that I'm kind of going for, not for my life personally, but like that I want to read. I'm really, really, really excited to read this one this month. Hopefully I can finish it. It is super atmospheric, so I don't know. I'm just so excited to read it. I couldn't tell you why. Those are the books that I have selected to attempt to read throughout the month of September. We'll see what actually ends up happening. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you're doing well reading mentally and otherwise. If you're going back to school, I hope that you're staying safe and taking care of yourself best you can physically and mentally. I love you all so much, and I really hope to see you all in my next video. Bye guys. Really quick, I forgot to mention that I did mention that I filmed a spoilery reading vlog, and I also mentioned in that vlog that if you wanted me to, I would do them monthly. So let me know down in the comments below of my TBR what you would want me to do a spoilery filled reading vlog for, if you had to pick of all of those books. Let me know like your top 2 or 3. So that would be highly appreciated. Okay, thank you. Love you. Bye.
What's there to say? There's nothing but space in between you and I.